everybody for coming here today. I would just like to welcome, so first of all, sorry, I'm Denise Dembkoski, I'm the Stow Town Administrator. I would like to welcome Congresswoman Trahan for coming out today. This is a wonderful opportunity for us to have her here. Our Speaker Pro Tem, Kate Hogan, which I'm sure you all know. We have Select Board Chair Ellen Sturgis. And the rest of our Select Board is here also. I would like to thank the members of the Assabet River Rail Trail that are here with us today. We have several department heads, our Maynard counterparts are here, and for anyone else who's here that is interested in this project. We're thrilled to be discussing this in hopeful anticipation of funding. As most of you know, this trail connection has been a work in progress for more than 20 years. We are so thankful that Congresswoman Trahan has supported and submitted this request as part of her funding submission for the now House-passed government appropriations package. Being a small community, grant and earmarked funding opportunities are paramount to these larger type projects that exceed our budgetary capacity, and as we've demonstrated, could take years to come to fruition. We are extremely grateful to the Congresswoman that she selected Stow as one of her 9 projects to bring forward. Before we turn it over to the Congresswoman for her thoughts, I would like to invite Kate Hogan to speak, and then I'll turn it over to Select Board Ellen Sturgis to welcome you all here today.
Thank you so much, Denise.
Welcome.
Thank you, Congresswoman Trahan, for this rail trail. As you see, Stow and Maynard meet here at this great crossroad as we continue to provide ways for families to get together, ways for people to get out, to enjoy the environment, to improve all the quality of our lives, and it is so critically important. I am delighted that we're going to continue on down Track Road, as I know so many of you are, with this rail trail that continues to connect us all. And I do want to thank Congresswoman Trahan, because on this, as in so many ways, a champion for the district and always a champion for all forms of transportation, even those that involve 2 feet. So thank you so much, Congresswoman.
Thank you, Representative Hogan, and again, welcome, Congressman. It's just delightful to actually get to meet you in person. Here we are, actually in person. I just want to speak on behalf of the residents of Stow. We know how long we've been talking about Track Road, in particular, the idea of a rail trail. I found a vote, the first vote I could find, 1998, when the town first started voting money to try to increase our visibility on the rail trail, which then became the Assabet River Rail Trail officially. I want to thank, I don't know if Rob Albright's here, but thank you for his family for his working with the town to give us the easements so we could always use the track road. And it's just, when Maynard opened up their section of the rail trail in, I think it was 2018, it suddenly really opened up this the real possibility. So this is really exciting. When we heard about this, that you had gotten us this possibility of funding, we were like, oh my God, this is huge for us. So thank you again, and again, thank you all for coming today.
Great. Well, thank you. It's wonderful to be here. Thank you, Denise. Thank you, Speaker Pro Tem Hogan, my partner in so many issues. We were just together working on PFAS 2 days ago. But also, the part of the genesis of this funding request came from my visiting Assabet River Rail Trail down in Marlborough and Hudson, and seeing the unbelievable impact on economic development, certainly to the quality of life for families and residents. But when my 2 young daughters, 7 and 11, Grace and Caroline, and my husband jumped on that trail, you look at the map and you realize this is as far as we can go. Not that we're going to go much longer than 9.2 miles with a little one, but that is the goal, to have continuity through our cities and towns, to connect these cities and towns, to provide alternative forms of transportation. Certainly, it is the greenest mode of transportation that we can think of. And so, I want to thank the town of Maynard for also being here, and all the members of the Select Board. This, as Denise mentioned, the House took up and we passed a comprehensive government funding package. It's going to deliver a number of local and statewide projects, and we were able to secure many funds for, community projects throughout the district, but this one, like I said, is near and dear to my heart, and will be, such an impetus for, connecting families to the rail trail. I chose this project because of the direct benefit it'll have on the families that I'm so privileged, to represent. And we're lucky that we brought back direct spending by the Congress in the form of these community projects, because it's been missing for quite some time. Once this funding gets passed through the Senate and passed into law, it will absolutely support the town's longtime efforts to improve and create a multi-use path along Track Road, which will not only provide for recreation, but also unbelievable economic development opportunities. So I think the support that we're seeing just for the project today illustrates the importance of getting this package passed into law, and I look forward to hearing more about the project and how these investments will benefit the towns of Stow, Maynard, and surrounding towns as well. So thank you.
So now I will invite Jesse Stedman, our town planner, and Kathy Sverra, our conservation director, to talk about the timeline of the project and where we've gone and where we hope to go with this.
Yeah, there are Jesse Stedman and the town planner here in the town of Stow. There are folks in this room who have worked on this much longer than I have, and having been here for about 9 years, Track Road has always been one of those projects and one of those goals that's been elusive, and I know that others would probably share that same thought. So it's been a project that since the inception of the idea for the Assabet River Rail Trail, Stow had initially planned to take part in that initial design and construction, and of course the complicated and the hard things are the ones that get done last, and here we are, and we know that there were some initial design issues that we needed to overcome, and this is the kind of really momentum we need to be able to take that on. We know that we're going to need some help from design and engineering firms to kind of sort out some of the things that have stood in the way in the past, and we feel like now with some initial concepts that were provided by a firm out of Westford, Green International, we feel like we finally can kind of see that vision kind of take shape again, and make good on a lot of the plans and the vision that the initial planners that were working on this, 2 decades ago had in mind. So this is just like I said, to have this kind of inertia now is huge, and I think this is the step we needed to really get things moving. So thank you.
You bet.
Kathy?
I just want to thank you, Congresswoman. I'm Kathy Sverra, Conservation Director, and also thrilled to be here today. One of the highest priorities in the town's open space and recreation plan is actually to improve walking and cycling opportunities for residents of Stow and residents of the region. And one of the things that we really heard as we were working on the plan was from a lot of residents of Stow who said, I came here for the open space, I came here for the trails. I'm getting older and I can't get out in the woods the way I used to, but I still want to be able to enjoy the outdoors. I want places that I can walk easily without having to worry about roots and rocks, and I want places that I can go with my families and my kids and their kids to be outside. So I think this is a great recreational resource. It's an environmental treasure for Stow. I don't know if you've seen it yet, but it's really sandwiched between the Assabet River Wildlife Refuge, Stow Town Forest, which is one of our largest conservation properties, with these gorgeous views out over the Assabet River. And so, it's great to be working in partnership with the planning department on this. We do a lot of projects together. And, I think one of the challenges that we have before us is to be mindful of the sensitivity of the environmental resources out there, but also to create opportunities for people to get out and enjoy them. So I actually found some documents that indicated that planning for the rail trail first began in 1992. So it's been 30 years, but good things take time. And I think we do have, as Jesse said, the momentum to get there this time. Thanks.
I will say,
Sorry, go ahead. No,
no, if there was ever a year that it was emphasized to all of us in terms of getting outside and giving people access and the ability to enjoy the outdoors, it was this year, this challenging year that we just lived through. You know, this district, the 3rd district of Massachusetts, for those of you who don't know, it's Haverhill, Lawrence, Lowell, which is where I grew up, all the way south to Marlborough and Hudson, west to Gardner, Fitchburg, Ashburnham, all the towns along the New Hampshire border. And we're blessed to have a couple of National Historic Parks in the district, and many trails, rail trails, river walks, and such. And they were all utilized. If anything, we saw that demand is only going to increase over time. And so these projects are they're lifelong, right? I mean, as you just pointed out, folks are getting older. They still want to be able to be outside and active, and this gives them the ability to do that, which is really important as we create communities where people can live in for their whole life and stay, and still have a healthy and a high quality of life. So I am, of course, supportive of projects like this, and like I said, when we brought back these community project initiatives, it really was unbelievable to me that these types of funds really will have a significant impact. And I actually have 2 trails: the Bruce Freeman, which is where I live right on the Bruce Freeman Trail, and it connects Lowell, certainly the town that I live in, all the way through Carlisle and Acton, but also this trail, which we've been able to enjoy since I started representing this district. So delighted to be a part of it.
Tom, I'm going to put you on the spot. Do you want to speak on behalf of the Assabet River Rail Trail?
Briefly.
Sure.
Standing up. So, great attending this event. Again, I'm the president of the nonprofit group that's been in business for about 25 years. And when I joined 21 years ago, all they gave me was grief about, okay, he's the rookie. Now that we're in this year. Doing good. You mentioned that you have 2 rail trails. Your district, you've got 9.
Oh, those are just the 2 that I'm on regularly.
And the other thing is, you mentioned that you like the Marlborough Hudson section. Marlborough 2 weeks ago just started a 3rd mile extension of the rail trail. Finally getting off the hill down to downtown. So we talk about, it's all about Stow's got to get finished. Actually not. It's always a work in progress, other issues. The fact that the other 4 communities are mostly done doesn't mean they're all done. And as I was mentioning to Denise when I met her 2 days ago, great, we're talking about track road. There's 5 separate pieces of property in Stow that are privately owned that are the railroad, 150-year-old railroad. The track road, which we've made the most progress on with the easements, that's just 1 out of 5. And coincidentally, we get obsessed with honeypot, but there's other properties where the owner of some other parts of the railroad has stated they'd sell it to Stow. And Stow hasn't asked because they didn't want to jump the gun regarding honeypot. But again, there's some really nice other parts of Stow that have abandoned railroad tracks. And so, don't think big. not just that track road, it's still obviously the biggest piece. Here, that's it.
Thank you.
Greg, anything to add from maintenance point of view?
No, we're just happy to be here. No, I'm Greg Johnson, the town administrator, mayor, and I have Megan Smudo, the assistant town administrator, and Bill Nemser, the planning director. No, we're just thrilled because, and I happen to live in West Acton, so I've actually taken a bike from West Acton on the road trail to South Acton Community Station all the way to work. I haven't only done it once. It got me really sweaty, but it's I'm thrilled because it's regional draw, it's economic enhancement, it's everything we like, and it's sustainable, and it's fantastic. And I really want to ride my bike all the way to Hudson one day.
Yeah.
So for that one, I'm just thrilled that this came, and we're on the way partnering with our federal partners and whatnot. So thank you for having us be here today.
Does anyone else have anything they'd like to add or contribute?
Hi, Alan Fierce, wearing a couple of hats today, but I'm primarily here representing the ORS organization and the board of directors. And obviously, first thing we want to say is thank you for promoting this project. ORS has been particularly interested in this project because if you might take a look at the name of this rail trail, it's the Assabet River Rail Trail. And this stretch along track road runs primarily along the river and is an important project for opening the river up to the public to see what a beautiful resource we have there. Part of it is in Maynard too, where you cross White Pond Road and continue to head toward Maynard. You're along the river for a stretch there. But between that stretch in Maynard and this stretch in Stow, I don't know that there's a nicer rail trail right along a river anywhere in this area.
Yeah.
So it's especially an important project for that reason. I don't know if we're going to get into questions at some point, but some of us are interested in knowing exactly what the status of the money is. It's passed through a committee in the House.
It's passed through the House.
Passed through the House.
Yeah, so,
Is it
yeah.
in a budget bill or a?
So we pass our, 9 of our 12 appropriation bills. Last week, was that your motion?
Yeah.
Last week. And now it has to go on to the Senate. The Senate has been a little bit, slow to get their appropriations through committee and onto the Senate floor for obvious reasons. Right now, they're working on the bipartisan infrastructure agreement, but we
Right.
think that
And
they're.
they're also working on a budget reconciliation
Yes, they are.
bill. Will this end up there, or is this on a separate track?
This is on a separate track.
Okay.
So, we will, hopefully this will, I think we have a lot to sort of ferret out, as you can imagine, in terms of what exactly is in the budget infrastructure after all the amendments are considered, and that comes back over to comes to the House. And that is going to ride alongside a budget reconciliation package that includes many of the administration's priorities. And then the Senate is also sort of in parallel right now through committees working on the appropriations, so that we're not, passing a CR, that we're passing a budget. So we're, this is going to be a very busy fall, but we'll certainly keep you abreast in terms of what vehicle it's
Yeah.
in.
Please do,
so
so
that you can
we can also
follow.
then do what we can do to contact our senators
Yeah.
to make sure that this is included in the
Absolutely.
Senate.
And, I was just on the phone with Senator Markey last night because there are a few things that are in the bipartisan infrastructure bill that are needing some amending, and he's offered some amendments, some of the things that have to do with combined sewerage overflow, and some of the water infrastructure money that just wasn't at a rate sort of high enough to deal with so many of the issues that cities and towns are dealing with. Of course, grew up on the Merrimack River, and it's not in a great spot right now, with so much combined sewerage overflow flowing in on a day like today. And they're not equipped. Neither is Manchester, New Hampshire, equipped to make those investments on a timeline that we can handle to protect the Merrimack. But I have to thank ORS. I've been in very close contact with ORS well beyond my term, which is only 3 years so far, not even 3 years. But I was a staffer when we got the federal designation for wild and scenic of the Sudbury, Assabet, and Concord rivers. And the first vote I took and the first piece of legislation that I got to see passed into law when I became a member was Congresswoman Trahan's designation of wild and scenic river for the Nashville River. And so these rivers are so important, and to have a rail trail on the Assabet River is really special, and will just be further motivation for people to get outside and use this trail. So thank you for all the work. We can't do this without the outside groups really working alongside our state and local partners to make folks aware of the importance and to get this funding. So appreciate everything you've done in that regard. And I know that's only one of the hats that you wear.
Anyone else have anything to add to our discussion? Well, so we still can, if you're up for it, taking the drive over to Track Road to
I
actually
brought
see
a
it.
change of shoes.
All right. So we do have our shuttle available. You're welcome to obviously take your own car, and anyone else for that matter. We have a 20-passenger shuttle that's available. We have some police that can escort us over there and keep an eye on the
Right.
pedestrians.
Terrific.
And so if there's nothing else, I would just, again, just thank you so much for your support. This is tremendous for us. I can't stress enough how much this money would go in a small community. We're going to kickstart this project, and we hope to bring it to fruition someday soon.
Great, thank you. Thanks for all for
Thank you,
coming.
everybody.